What's good, everybody? I am Sad Boy Will. Here we are with something a little different. It's not exactly a reaction. It is, but it isn't. Of Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 65. This is like the sixth episode of Attack on Titan, the final season. And I've already watched the episode, but the quality of the last two episodes makes me kind of want to react to the series for you guys. But like I said, we're already six episodes in. So I didn't want to for people who were just finding my channel to just see me jump in at this one specific point in the anime and kind of just do reactions off of it and not have done the previous episodes. So this is kind of like a review of such. It's not really a reaction. I'm just going to skim through the episode, show my favorite parts, and kind of talk about what I'm thinking, where the series is headed and whatnot. Because I am an anime only watcher. Please no manga spoilers. I know the manga isn't finished quite yet, but it's pretty deep into where the anime would be. So I'm gonna just speak from my perspective because these last two episodes, episode 64 and 65, have been executed perfectly. Like, the season's been overall great so far, but these last two episodes are really shaped up to be like contenders to make Attack on Titan one of my favorite animes. It's up there, but I've never really sat back and thought, wow, Attack on Titan is my favorite anime, until I saw especially this episode, which is titled, what is the title of this episode? The Warhammer Titan. So yeah, we're gonna skim through the episode and just kind of talk briefly about certain scenes, certain dialogues. Hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully this doesn't get claimed like my Jujutsu Kaisen reaction, even though that was kind of like odd for audio. But we're just gonna watch it and just kind of talk over. So we start off with Willie from the Tyburn family. He's making his departure, and his family, his wife, his sister, his children are kind of all expecting his death to occur. You see his wife crying here, as he makes his departure to meet up with the Marleyans, to get ready for the presentation he's going to do later that night after the festival, to basically make a declaration of war, which was the previous episode. And the declaration of war is against the people on Paradise, especially Eren Yeager, our main character of sorts. He's been our main character for three seasons, but now we've kind of switched over, and we're getting perspectives from different characters now. But he's still our main character. But he's Willie basically knows that if he makes this declaration at any given time, especially during the festival, he could die. He's already acknowledged that his death wish. And so if we skim through, he's talking with the Marleyan general, and they're talking about, are you sure about this? Let me see what the exact line of whatchamacallit is an exact line. I gotta go back to that. Where they basically speak about being attacked during the speech, and he knows if he makes this speech, he's going to die, whether it's then, there, or after. So that's really why his family's kind of shook up, because they all know that if he, Willie's really loved, but if you go forward back to where I was, they're pretty sure that there are people conspiring. We even get this shot of this shady guy reading the newspaper, and then he sees them pass, and he kind of gets, disappears. Like, look, shady. Um, but yeah, it's like it's the conspirators working with Paradise who I fear the most. So, a few episodes ago, everybody, all the nations met up together for the festival. There was one particular leader from, I think, some Asian country, or I don't know how this world works, but her name was like Kyoto or something like that. I can't remember. And Udo, I always call him Udo for some reason. Udo had spilled some wine on her, and to protect him from the Marleyans, harsh punishment, she covered for him basically, and a lot of the people that gathered at Marley were once enemies of Marley. So they kind of didn't really like the Marleyans all that much and had been previously engaged in war with them. Um, and basically, they were just there to not only hear what the Marleyans had to say, but also because the Tiber family and Willie, who were highly regarded among the nations, hear what they had to say, basically. In the Tiber Marleyan kind of unity, because Tiber's been known for like being the backbone of the Marleyan infrastructure. So anyway, we meet her. She covers for Udo, and then the next scene we see with her, she's leaving. As the festival starts, she's leaving the festival. So all these nations are meeting together, meeting in one spot. All their leaders are meeting in one spot to hear what Willie has to say, and she kind of basically, with her guards, are like, okay, we've done our part, we left, and then leaves before Willie finishes his speech, and then Eren attacks, basically starting the war between Paradise and all of the nations, essentially. Really, it's really Paradise versus Marley, but really it's Paradise versus everybody. She's seen leaving the festival, so I think she's been one of the conspirators that the people of Paradise have been working with. Because if you think about it realistically, like I said, Marley is very, very hated by other nations. The Marley general went up during the dinner ceremony, and he tried to make a joke, and all of them just mean mugged him. Like, they hated him. But when Willie went up, the crowd seemed to ease their frustrations and were more open to listening to Willie, even though Tiber and Marley are kind of, even if it's not explicitly stated, they're kind of like in tandem. So I think she's one of the conspirators who have been infiltrating Marley and kind of like, scoping out things to help the people of Paradise, who are basically staging a coup de grace and plan to counterattack or attack Marley and all of the nations that there are declaring war on them. So as we move forward, our motherland Marley knows many enemies. Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, conspirators. You never know who it could be or what, but I think it was her and whatever nation she hails from. But I'm skim through all this, and it's really crazy how when Willie made his speech, he was speaking about the Eldians and how their history and whatnot, which really makes me want to wish I went back and kind of did this for this episode before I hopped into this episode, because he said a lot of interesting things that are very revealing. But he goes into the speech where King oh my god, what is his name? Basically, the king of the Eldians and the inheritor of the founding titan basically calls for peace. He was tired of war. He was tired of people fighting each other, and whatnot. So he took his people, the Eldians, and moved within the walls, sealed them around them, and made it so anybody who inherited the Titan shifting powers, they would work under the will of the king. So they would never like wage war against each other. Um, but he's unveiling all of these truths about the aliens and how they're not as bad as everybody thinks. He still talks down on the alien bloodline as if they're devils, um, for being able to shift into Titans, even though that same bloodline runs through his veins. So it's kind of like a duality where it's just like he honors the history of Eldia, but at the same time he understands it's dangerous and that it needs to be ceased. Um, which is weird because he mentions before like, hey, our family is home to the Warhammer Titan. Like you don't know who it is, but it's one of us. Which is just like it's like the pot calling the kettle black. It's like, yeah, you're speaking down on these devils and Eldians being demons and devils, but you run from the same bloodline. You could very well be a Titan shifter yourself, which we find out later who the Warhammer Titan is. So let's just skim a little more. This last little segment of dialogue, there was one other important thing that I saw. Um, he tells him, "I'll die. I'll be able to protect you. If you proceed, you will die." The general basically tells him that, but we've already been over that, and he's prepared for that. Um, uh, but yeah, there's no doubt that Eldians are the spawn of the devil, and this is coming from Marleyan mouths. Um, and there's no doubt that we are devils ourselves, speaking as the Marleyans. So it's kind of just like, it's that whole idea of duality once again. It's just like, yeah, we speak of them as if they're foul written creatures, they're the devils, and we look down on them. But he even sees in his own people, the Marleyans, that hey, we're devils too. We're only products of war and products of a vicious cycle that will always continue. So it's just like, yeah, like, oh, they're waging war against us, but we're gonna wage war back. We went after them, and it's just kind of like you acknowledge that, hey, we talk down on these people, but it's just like any other nation. It's just we're all war ridden like fiends. We're all devils in our own regards. So it's kind of cool, like seeing that a Marleyan, especially a high-ranking Marleyan, kind of acknowledges Eldians as somewhat equals in a regard. Um, and then we get through the intro. Oh no! Then we fast forward to Eren eating Willie, which Eren in CG. At first, I didn't know how to feel about it, but this episode, come to watch it over and over again. I've watched it maybe like 3 or 4 times. Um, this is phenomenal animation. It's phenomenal animation. He breaks through, and then you all automatically see all the like debris and architecture just flying everywhere, killing so many people. And this goes on for the entire episode, and it's chaos. And I've seen people refer to it as like the Marleyans episode 1, where you think what happened when episode 1 of season 1 happened, and we get right people enjoying life, regular life, whatnot. There's a little conspiracies going around, but then boom, hole in the wall, Titans rush in, catastrophic chaos happening everywhere, people dying left and right. Everybody's a casualty of war. I mean, you could see Eren like standing between the two sides of the building he just emerged from, which had people, families, and all like just living in there, watching the whole stage and the whole festival and declaration happen. And it's just like Eren kind of thick too. And it's just like it really puts in perspective, like whoa, this is literally a vicious cycle. Like, except, it's a one-man army. Like, when we saw season 1 episode 1, it was Reiner and Berthold with their Titans, and rushing in with regular Titans, causing sort of chaos. But right now you just see Eren being a one-man wrecking show, and just cause so much destruction among the people of Marley and the other visiting nations. Which is just look at this, menacing face. Just ate Willie, and it's just like, wow. The thing is, I don't know if this was a good idea, because Aaron basically made a whole lot of enemies that he didn't need to make. Like, he's obviously been in Marley territory for some time. And I'm pretty sure he knew that the Tiber family, he needed to make his enemy, because they were going to be the one that declared war, not Marley. But the fact that other nations had to be involved and they lost their people, now it's not just going to be Marley and the Tibers going after the people of Paradise and going after Eren, but all these other nations. He's basically waged war on the world, and I don't see a good outcome of this. Like, it's kind of like when the beginning of the season 4 started. Marley was in war with some random nation, because word got out that Marley had lost 2 of their Titans, and now people was like, oh yeah, we about to have an uprising, and we're about to bully you, basically, because we feel like you don't have the firepower to be the strong nation that you think you are anymore, after losing 2 Titans. And it's kind of to the same point where it's just like, even though they, Eren and Paradise have like strong like military forces, it's just like you have so many nations trying to fight you at this point now. And it's just like, because you killed their leaders, their friends, family, guards, and everything. So it's just like, at what point was this even a good idea? It's a suicide mission, basically. But this menacing look of Eren, man, it's crazy. And like this intro just keeps getting better and better. Yeah, episode 5, Warhammer Titan, and we just see so much like chaos ensue. Eren rushes the Marleyan stands, and he just pounds everybody. And then we see Gabby, Udon, and then you see over here in the corner, I didn't even catch this when I first watched the first episode, but they made so much emphasis on it afterwards. Zofia getting crushed by a rock. Zofia didn't have like a super personality, so it was just like, it was easy for her to like, it wasn't a character that we weren't really invested in. But think of it in this regard, and I've seen a lot of people mention this, like, this is like Eren, Mikasa, and Armin almost. This is their group. Like, a lot of parallels have been made with Gabby and Eren from when season 1 happened. And it's just like, to lose one of your closest friends in such a disastrous way, and it's just rough. Like, imagine if this was Armin or Mikasa when the wall broke instead of Eren's mom. It's just like, wow, you got to put things in perspective. Like, rough. R.I.P. Zofia. And then later on, yeah, like, this is rough. Like, seeing your best friend, one of your closest friends, just destroyed, and then the people are just stampeding. It's kind of like a scene from Lion King, where like people are just stampeding and like trying to get away from all the collision, and then we see Udo just get trampled. We see Udo just get trampled. Like there's no way he's surviving this. Like, imagine like people at their lightest, 130 pounds, stampeding you, and you're only like a kid that weighs maybe 90 pounds, 80 pounds, soaking wet. Like, he's tall, so he's kind of probably on the heavier side, like 110 maybe. But like, God, you're just getting stampeded by so many people in your heart, and there's just so much you'll see the Tiber maid, which we find out is the surprised by this. I know the Tiber family wasn't surprised by this really, but just actually seeing it and feeling hopeless, because Piek and the Jaw Titan, they call them so many different things. Gilliard, Pac, they were put down in the hole, and we'll see what they're up to um, pretty soon. Yeah, just carnage. Um, and it's just like we don't know where Zeke is. We don't know where Zeke is. In the preview, we kind of see where Zeke is. But no Zeke, no Piek, no Jaw Titan. So it's kind of just like what's going on. Like usually, if one Titan popped up, quick work. Some of our Titans, we got armor. We got Titan, weapons, but we're relying on somebody else's Titan to protect us. But this cool little thing where the Warhammer Titan just spears Eren with like a obelisk, like a I don't know what you would call it, like a pillar made out of, like, look at the size of this thing. This thing is like twice the size of Eren over, and it just summoned that by laying on the ground while it was being pummeled. And it's just amazing, the power. And then we see these two people from earlier in the episode that were talking to Gabby and Sophia and all of those kids at the start of the festival, and we just see them meet an unmeasurable fate of being crushed by a rock. Like Eren rose from the ground like maybe 20 minutes ago, and there's still debris falling and tumbling on people in a nearby city, and it's just wow. It's crazy. It's like it's only one Titan. It's not like a whole bunch of Titans storm Marley and like are destroying things. It's like, no, it's literally just, this is done by one Titan, and it's kind of like, bruh. Then we see the Warhammer Titan fully recover. Yeah, remember it. I'm the one who took the first shot, and the counter attack from Marley. You see the Warhammer Titan. Udo is in a bad predicament, but we already know based off of like how everything's going. There's no way, even as like high ranking like Eldians, there's no way they're gonna get any type of like medical assistance. Like it's like, nah. Like you have too many Marlians and too many other nations that are visiting that take precedent over a Eldian. It's just like, yeah, even if you go to like your own people for medical assistance, like there's still probably a lot of people that are just that need help. You see these guys, and I predicted this, but Pig being sly, when she met up with those other guards, those other military forces, she gave them a heads up, like, hey, you need to follow me. Yeah, you need to follow me, because it was kind of just random. Like, even though we haven't known Pig for a while, it kind of seemed like the obvious thing to do. Like, she mentioned to the guard, which we think is Armin, that, you seem familiar. Where have we met before? And it's just like he didn't give her a straight answer, so she obviously clung to the first person she could recognize that could do anything, which was the Panzer unit, I guess the aerial unit, and basically told him like, follow me, this is shady, which they came to save her. Even though I think that the Jaw Titan could have transformed and not killed Piek and escaped, but I don't know. We see the Jaw Titan from every now and again, and the scale of it is much bigger than Ymir's. Ymir's was really small, which kind of why I think that way, but maybe Gilliard's or Potts or whatever his name is just much bigger than Ymir's Jaw Titan, even though they're the same shifter power. One's just bigger than the other. But I feel like he still could have got out. Um, and then they're heading that way, and she needs her car accessories. And this is just crazy. As they're talking, you just see the 3D maneuver gear just fly through the sky, and they look, and only Pig has seen this type of stuff. They even actually brought back stuff from when they made their first trip to paradise, and grabbed some 3D maneuver gear to observe and kind of see like what they could take from it. And it's kind of like the infiltration of paradise. Like you see them zip lining through the sky on the 3D maneuver gear, the new drip, and then we just see the Warhammer Titan just absolutely just like decimate like Eren in every way possible. Like it's crazy how powerful this Titan is. She kind of thick too, not gonna lie. But Eren is mastered being a tactician in war and fighting. So he's not new to this. You know, he's gonna make his way out of it. And you know, excellent fight between the two. And then you got the armor gear, which, weird enough, the only weird thing I found out of this episode was that in the first episode, when we see Reiner, the armor Titan, get pelted with these anti-Titan bullets, he gets destroyed. But Eren, who can only like harden certain parts of his body, he probably hardened his whole body because he filled up the wall. But I don't think his hardening ability is on the same level as the armor Titan, and he just takes those bullets so powerfully. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe his hardening ability is on par with Reiner's, or maybe stronger. But it just seemed kind of weird that like the bullets didn't seem to really phase him as much as they did the armor Titan. They want the Warhammer Titan to eat Eren, but I think after losing her brother, this is Willie's sister, his Eldian sister. I think he has an Eldian sister and then Tiber's sister, the one with the blonde hair. So it's kind of like half and half. They all live harmoniously. But she seems kind of like grieving, like you ate my brother. Like the leader of our family, our clan, has been killed because of you. So she doesn't really seem interested in eating him. But I know the guard stated that, you know, her killing Eren is only gonna like prolong their problem. Because there's still the Colossal Titan and other Titans that exist without the Founding Titans. So I guess you still have those problems. But with the Founding Titan and Royal Blood, you could possibly command all the Titans and put an end to the war, which is kind of why they wanted to go to Paradise, to get the Founding Titan back. But she doesn't really seem like interested in eating him at the moment. He comes out of his body and he calls on Mikasa in such an epic way. Just the look in Eren's eyes, like he just seems like a soulless person. Like this is the ultimate like flip in a character, like 180 degrees, like from Eren Yeager that we knew, who was very passionate and very forthgoing, and time again, even when he faced hardships, he always bounced back and became his true self. But he just seems dead inside now. He seems like a fully realized Founding Titan, like, you know, and all he needs is royal blood to be able to fully realize the end game for what he has planned. Because his plan is basically just to to stop his enemies. Like they're gonna come for him, so he's gonna come for them until one side loses, and like he doesn't seem like he's going to like he's not gonna like back down. Mikasa comes in, and Mikasa we seen from when we first saw Mikasa in the trailer for this show. I thought it was Eren. I thought it was Eren until we saw Eren, and it was like, oh, it was like that's Mikasa, and she cuts her hair. She cuts her hair, and she's a little more built. This was also a cool shot where we see the military come in with the 3D maneuver gear and kind of like just set everybody up. And it's just crazy, you know. We see John, Flock, Connie. But yeah, when we see Mikasa, it's just like, wow, this doesn't even look like Mikasa anymore. But she doesn't look terrible. It's just different from Mikasa having her long hair, which I wonder why she cut it. And then, alright, information for public disclosure. The Warhammer Titan, the Titan inherited by the Tiber family and held by Willie's younger sister, Laura Tiber. Its body is encased in a white shell, so they tell us this before we even see it, created by its extraordinary hardening ability. Furthermore, it can use the same hardening ability to construct any weapon it envisions. This Warhammer crossbow and whip are a few examples from its arsenal of Titan-sized weaponry it wills to fight. So this is literally a War Titan. This is literally a War Titan. It can create any type of weapon it pleases. You know, one weapon we didn't see it mentioned in this is the sword that the Warhammer Titan creates, and that's like super dope. Like, it doesn't look like a traditional Titan, but it just looks so cool creating these weapons and using it. But we see it use the Warhammer, the crossbow. Didn't really. We might have saw the whip. It might have been really quick. But we also see a sword that it uses. But yeah, like, see, they're sending troops and whatnot. So much chaos. We see the 3D maneuver gear just ziplining through the skies, taking out Marley. And like, even though Marley has more like advanced like societal technology and weaponry, Paradise has built like their whole technological like atmosphere based on the war and military. So it's just like they have like the superior weapons with the 3D maneuver gear. Like, and even when you saw the implementation of guns with Kenny in the 3D maneuver gear, that was kind of like a big like upgrade. And then they brought in the Thunder Spears, the Thunderheaded Spears, and whatnot. And it's just like something that I don't think Marley is prepared for. Like, yeah, y'all have guns, but nigga, we got fucking 3D maneuver gear and like Thunderhead Spears. You see Flock and Jean get into it. And then Mikasa. So this is the thing. Like, Eren seems to have infiltrated by himself. Maybe through the other nation that we spoke of, with the lady who left that protected Udo. It seems like he infiltrated through her and has been there and been kind of keeping in contact with her. And then he's been sending letters through Falco back to Paradise to basically call everybody to come here on this day at this time. Mikasa's like, come home, Eren. Like, you left without us, and then you come over here and you kill civilians, you kill children. Like, don't you see that you've done things that are like undoable? Like, this needs to stop. And like, she's basically trying to reason with him, like this is not you. Like, the person I knew and loved, this is not you. And his like lifeless expression just says it all. It's just like, this is war. This is what that is. Like, I can't help it. Like, they did this to us, so it's my responsibility as the founding Titan and as the attack Titan to put it into all of this. And he quickly just jumps into back into combat. Like, hey, they're not done yet. If you create an opening, I can eat the Warhammer Titan. And imagine Eren with the Warhammer Titan ability, which I'll talk about that in the end, because I have speculation of basically how the series possibly is coming to an end. So Mikasa makes an opening, and we see Udon. Udon's just fucking destroyed, just absolutely decimated. A piece of his head looks like it's missing. Like, look at him. Like, this part right, like at the top left, like it just looks like he has a piece of brain missing. Like, it's like really bad for him. Like, I don't think he's going to make it. And we just have these people just laying down here. But we've seen people survive from far worse. Speaking of you, Armin.